Hello and welcome. Today we are diving into a book called Dirty Genes by Dr. Ben Lynch, and it offers a really different way of looking at things for anyone who's felt, well, just trapped by chronic health issues. The big idea here is pretty simple. Your genes might not be the destiny you think they are.
So have you ever felt like you've tried everything? I mean, every diet, every supplement, you've seen all the specialists, and you're still just not feeling right. It's an incredibly frustrating place to be. But the core idea in this book is that maybe, just maybe, the answer isn't some new diagnosis, but it's an understanding how your genes are doing their everyday jobs.
And I bet some of these sound really familiar, don't they? Things like brain fog, that constant fatigue, anxiety, gut problems, or just weird, unexplained symptoms that nobody can seem to figure out. According to Dr. Lynch, these aren't just a bunch of random, disconnected problems. Nope, they can actually be signals that your genes are struggling to keep up. All right, so let's jump right into the most important message in this whole book, and honestly, it's a message of hope. This whole framework is about challenging that old, frankly depressing idea that our genetic code is some kind of life sentence that we just can't escape.
This quote pretty much says it all, doesn't it? The whole point of the book is that while you can't change the actual genes you were born with, you have a massive amount of influence over how they behave. The takeaway? You are not a victim of your DNA.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of this main concept. What in the world does dirty even mean when we're talking about our genes? I want you to think of your body like a house, and your genes, well, they're the cleaning crew.
And this is where things get really interesting. You know, we used to think of our genes as these simple on-off switches. You either had a bad gene or you didn't, and that was that. But the new science, epigenetics, shows us they're much more like dimmer switches. Their expression, their performance can be turned up or turned way down, all based on your lifestyle, your choices, and your environment.
So a dirty gene is not a broken gene. Let's be super clear about that. It just means that its cleaning crew is totally overworked. It's just buried under a huge pile of tasks that our modern world throws at it, and it just can't do its job efficiently. It's burdened, not broken. And here's the stuff that makes the mess, the things that overwhelm that genetic cleanup crew. It's the stuff of modern life, right? Inflammatory foods, not getting enough of the right nutrients, chronic stress, all the toxins in our air and water, and a huge one, poor sleep. All these things create way more work than our genes were ever designed to handle.
So now that we know what we're talking about with dirty genes, let's meet the key players. The book narrows it down to 7 specific genes he calls the Super 7. And the reason for that is they have such a huge, widespread impact on our health, and they're often the ones we can clean up the most easily.
This chart is a fantastic little cheat sheet for these Super 7 gene teams. Let's just pull out a couple of these to see how this works in real life. So you've got MTHFR. Think of it as the master switch for like over 200 different things in your body, making energy, producing brain chemicals, you name it. When it gets dirty, you might feel things like that persistent anxiety or heavy brain fog. Then there's the mood team, COMT and MAOA. Their job is to process stress hormones and neurotransmitters like dopamine. If they're struggling, that can pop up as irritability, wild mood swings, or even really intense carb cravings. And hey, if you feel like you react to everything, foods, chemicals, a gene like DAO, which handles histamine from food, could be a key player that's just totally overloaded. Okay, so this all leads to the big question, right? If our genes are dirty, how in the world do we actually clean them? Well, the book lays out this really smart 2-step process called the Clean Genes Protocol. Now, the key here, and this is so important, is the order. First, you soak. And what that means is you stop making such a big mess. You reduce the burden. You start removing the things that are dirtying up your genes in the first place. It's only after you've lightened that load that you move on to the scrub phase, where you actively start supporting your genes with all the good stuff, the nutrients and rest they need to finally catch up. All right, this all sounds great in theory, but let's be real, putting it into practice can feel like a lot. So where do you actually begin without getting totally and completely overwhelmed? This is the #1 question people have when they hear about this stuff. Do I really need to go spend a bunch of money on a fancy DNA test just to get started? And the book's answer is surprisingly simple, and honestly, really empowering. The answer is no, you absolutely do not. Your symptoms are your roadmap. The book has these really helpful checklists. He calls them laundry lists that help you connect your specific symptoms to the specific Super 7 genes. Your body is already telling you, loud and clear, which genes need the most support right now. And so, to keep from feeling like you have to change your entire life overnight, the advice is to start with the absolute foundations. These are the things that lighten the load on all of your genes at the same time.
Getting deep, restorative sleep is number 1, then managing stress, cleaning up your food and water. These are the big wins that really start to build momentum.
And that brings us to what I think is the most important, powerful takeaway from this entire framework. It's a fundamental shift in how you see your health and how you see your own body.
Let that just sink in for a second. You are not broken. Your symptoms, all those frustrating things you feel, they are not a sign of failure. They are signals from a really intelligent body that is doing its absolute best to adapt to an environment that's just overwhelming.
Your body has this incredible innate ability to heal. The whole point of cleaning your genes isn't about forcing your body to do something unnatural. It's just about getting the obstacles, the burdens, out of the way so your body can finally do the job it was always designed to do.
And please remember this is not about a perfect 30-day crash course. It's about the small, consistent choices you make every single day. You know, going to bed just 15 minutes earlier, choosing the cleaner food option, taking 5 deep breaths. It's these small things, done over and over again, that create huge, lasting change.
So I'm going to leave you with this question because it really gets to the heart of this whole philosophy. It's not about overhauling your entire life by tomorrow. It's just about asking yourself, what is one small, manageable thing you can do today to lighten your body's load? Maybe it's as simple as drinking 1 extra glass of filtered water or putting your phone away an hour before you go to sleep. That one small step, that's where this whole journey really begins.